Hello and welcome. This is Alchemist X, and today is April Fool's, and it is definitely one of the best times to be playing. That is not a joke. This is not an April Fool's video in the sense that it's a practical joke or something that it's not true, but it is an April Fool's video in the sense that it's covering April Fool's content in Alchemist Code. Also, Othima V2 is out. That's really cool. There's a box event for him, but it definitely feels a little overshadowed for me because there's just so much stuff going on with April Fool's, and there's a very short amount of time to do it. There's only just the rest of this week's reset, and it's a short week on top of that. So if you are pressed for time, I would definitely prioritize getting the April Fool's units, especially one of the Wrath Trio, Bertrand, and Venus. And then you'll have another week to do the Sacred Stone stuff. There's also Cannon's Cannon's V2 event with its own coin shop. So there's just a ton of stuff. There's no shortage of content this week. Just a quick rundown. Venus is a water magic unit who specializes in anti-mail stuff. Bertrand is a light elemented tank. If you do not have a cover unit, very, very handy to have. And then, of course, we know the Rathalos trio. Covered them in Global. Nothing has really changed there. I'd say most people would probably be better off choosing Neville, unless you have really specific elemental needs. Then, Vlad is incredibly tanky. And then Kaiser is good in PvP and doing mass Berserk CC. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the content that is available. And then after that, I'll jump into the banners, but it's going to be a little bit shorter on that end just because it's a lot more simple this week. Okay, so I am currently in the events tab. I was going to talk about the April Fool's stuff in a little more detail. Then I'm going to talk about the version 2 stuff, and I can't really showcase the soul linking system exactly, but I can showcase a little bit of what having a version 2 unit is like. But first, the Venus event. So this one is really grindy, so definitely be prepared to be auto-repeating the level to get both coins and shards for Venus. It just seems like it takes a lot longer than the other ones did. But definitely worthwhile. You can get Venus, her memento, max limit broken, and then a gear for her. So overall, she's quite good, so I think it's worth the time. It's just going to take more of it. Now Bertrand, on the other hand, you can do this one fairly quickly because you can do the level. The coins can also buy more Bertrand shards in addition to the map dropping them. So you can knock this one much faster. Rathalos trio also fairly quick. The hell level is definitely a pain, but once you get one of the Wrath trio properly leveled up, it'll become much easier. 100% worth it though, just getting to pick which one you want, getting the memento. Very, very good. That hasn't really changed from Global. The ones that I haven't done yet are the School one and the Lizardman one. I did the Dios one real quick, but I haven't farmed everything out of it. I just went for the shards and the enlightenment materials, just because I will definitely want to do Dios's job 3 pretty soon, so this will help facilitate that quite a bit. I do also want to get Lizardman. He's just kind of the lowest on my list. There's also a free gear you can get really easy, just completely low effort. Returns quest is back, but it might be a little too steep of a requirement if you are still fairly new, because definitely not new player friendly. They require really specific setups sometimes. And besides that, there is the Cannon event that I haven't touched because it's around for another week after this, so all of my time is going to the stuff that's only for the rest of this week. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at my Anaros, because I have exactly one V2 unit, and it is her. I got her kind of unexpectedly from the really nice sets of limited pool of banner. Sadly, you could not get version 2 units from the last week's banner with the 65 5-star units, but that's okay. I think having one of these is plenty because my soul part space is really tight competition for that, because I gotta raise my favorite unit, Ignacio, and then I've got Madia in there because I'm 10 shards away from her gate 7, and so not a lot of room to spare. So let's take a look at Anna Rose version 2. So as you can see, I cannot use elemental shards. That is the big downside. But the big upside is that when you get the original version enlightened enough and you get enough max limit breaks into the version 2 unit, they get to do like a stat sharing. And that's what this icon is here. As you can see, I get a message here that's saying like I haven't mastered the jobs yet. So there's every incentive to raise the original unit as much as you can. So if you're relatively new, that's gonna be a bit of a disadvantage. The version 2 units is definitely something that favors veteran players more. But as I'll talk about when I do the banner overview, there is, at least in the case of Othima, definitely a very easy way to mitigate that. And of course, with free units like Zine, fairly easy. And then it won't take long for units like Zangetsu or Anaros or Almira before you have more shards than you know what to do with. So I definitely, it won't be a giant hurdle forever. So this is the icon here. It's just, I gotta get her a little bit more limit broken before I can unleash it, and then I won't have to worry about enlightening version 2 Anaros. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about that for the time being. I'm really excited to get her at 15 limit breaks, which I should have within a couple of weeks or less. Luckily, it's every 12 hours and not every 24 in this old port. I'm very, very grateful for that because, man, those are some scarce shards. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the banners. And here we are at the banners. Man, this has been hard. I get the feeling it's not even going to be April Fool's anymore by the time I get this video out on YouTube. But, so this week is all Sacred Stone stuff. So if you're not interested in Sacred Stone, you're just waiting on Dragon stuff, etc., then most of this will be pretty easy skip. Mostly it's just the version 2 Sacred Stone characters, including the brand new Othima, their respective mementos. There's one excellent voucher banner that I think could benefit new players quite a bit. But other than that, not a whole lot going on. Ratha's Trio got a banner too, but you can get one of them for free, so that's less noteworthy. So if you've never seen a version 2 banner before, it's basically just a 20-step pity. So it's kind of comparable to a 5-step unlimited. The downside is you don't get shards along the way, which is sort of a consolation for those types of banners that, if you've had bad luck, at least you get, extra 25, 50, 75, 100, maybe even 125 shards. Meaning that if you pull them late, you at least get that, assuming that you don't have to transmute. Whereas here, you don't have to worry about transmuting, but you also won't get any shards along the way. But also, it's cheaper. So it's definitely a lot of plus sides. Given that Tagatame is in effect, and assuming that you have the worst possible luck and you don't get any full rebates, you're going to be looking at 40k gems to guarantee the unit. That could be a lot worse. You could guarantee the unit with worst possible luck, guarantee the memento with worst possible luck, and you'd be looking at about spending the same amount of gems that you would spend just getting a 65k unit, assuming that it didn't have Tagatame. But it looks like most of the time when a unit comes out, there's going to be Tagatame. So I think that's a pretty good quality of life element. Oh, right. I just realized right now that I did not talk about Othima V2 and his kit. So he's the superior wind element. So it's wind with extra exploit. And he is evasion based. He does some health or some HP casting, like you cast from hit points kind of stuff. Pretty strong unit overall. He does really want his memento. I'll go into that in just a second. But really, the real big downside is that it's just a V2 unit. So you are not only needing to get enough shards to max limit break him, but you also need to have Othima set up. However, there's a very easy fix for the original Othima that we'll get to shortly. So yeah, the memento, skill use +1 and max limit break. That is very, very good. That's just like if you're a damagey unit, that's what you want. The VCR, I might be conflating what's a vision ability and what's not, but as his health gets lower, he starts to get more benefits, such as getting immunity to status effects below 60%, and then below 40%, his HP casting doesn't cost hit points anymore. So kind of Zahar, Catanova style. Excellent. And being a wind evasion unit is really, really good, especially if you already have Schmeier. Those two will synergize quite well together. I could definitely see him becoming a kind of an arena cancer along with Smire, and maybe add a ranged unit on top of that, and you're in for a bad time if you're up against them. So yeah, overall, I think it is expensive, but as long as you're committed to raising the character, just getting the shards, making it a long-term project, I think it definitely could be well worth it. So Kennen and Zyne are rerunning. They're pretty easy to raise in that one is a free character you get from Sacred Stones, and the other is a challenge board character. So the only downside with them is that their job plus levels for the originals are going to be contingent on having other characters raised. But again, there's a bit of a solution to help with that at the very least. So that is going to be this 5-step voucher banner, and this is absolutely amazing for anyone that's wanting to raise a Sacred Stone unit just immediately. Kind of like what I said with the Phantom of the Kill ones. I think this is a little bit better than those because at full enlightenment with their job plus, they'll give you much better output. Like I went for the Dark Masamune because it cost me 500 gems and I had like no one fully enlightened at the time, and so she helped me out a lot. She's already kind of fallen off since then, but like she definitely gave me more than 500 gems worth of value just for her power level. So in this case, there's Tagatame, so it's going to cost you 2,000 gems, and or it'll be free, and you can get one of the Sacred Stone characters fully enlightened. So if you're going for V2 Othima, you can get regular Othima just completely set, and that's one less thing to worry about. Otherwise, even if you're not worried about that, there are other characters like Yaris, Kudenstein, Seda, Kaya, just like whoever you want to get raised, you just immediately have that solved. And as a newer player, it's really nice, especially because most of these characters are going to have self-contained job plus levels, and then once you finish them, you can use them to help Kennen get hers. So just overall a win-win. So aside from that, there's not much else. Rathalos Trio, if getting one of them for free wasn't enough, you want to get more, there is this. And other than that, just gears and less important stuff. So yeah, that is all I've got for this week. So even though I haven't decided which character I am going to raise with the ticket just yet, I definitely want to get this ticket. So let's just go ahead, knock this out right now, and then we'll close out the video, and we can try and get it uploaded onto YouTube before midnight. Otherwise, it'll be an April 1 video on April 2nd. But either way, it's April Fool's week, so it's not a huge deal. So our red was Chow. That's not so great. Let's go ahead and just skip the rest of that. Oh! Well, look at that. Got Siba, finally. I think the only Templar that I'm missing now is Fury. Got everyone else. Well, that's cool. Alright, well, that is all I got for this week. So if you are summoning on Dark Othima's banner especially, I wish you good luck, and I will see you all next time.